but whatever. Right. Welcome to another episode, or fantastic episode, or whatever the fuck this is, of this fantastic podcast that nobody watches. My name is Frank Rapp.
And I'm Matt Vachon.
And I want to say thank you for nothing, according to my buddy's shirt right there. There we go. Praying thank you for nothing. That's how we're going to start this shit off. Thank you for nothing, everybody. Welcome. Today we're going to cover, I guess, the NFL draft. Matt is excited. I almost had a heart attack. And we're going to talk about everything that's pro wrestling. And Matt's dick's going to fall off here eventually, so that's going to be a good sign, too.
Totally unrelated to the podcast.
No, who cares? All right, so we'll start with the week that was wrestling. They reinstated Charlotte on Raw after a week of being suspended.
Yeah.
What
a suspension that was.
What in the absolute fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. I literally don't have any. I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah.
They put Riddle and Orton as a tag team, and Orton didn't beat him up afterwards. Again, what the fuck are we doing?
Or
well,
that video you sent me during the week of that, the guy going ape shit, about Raw.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm like, yeah, that's the inner voice of like everybody that watches that show.
Yeah, Dave LaGreca went on a rant, and I sent it to you and John, and he is everything that all three of us are. Let's be honest. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that rant was classic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then they add Braun Strowman to the WWE title match in 2 weeks. Make it a triple threat.
Good. Great.
Now we have Lashley versus Drew, which was a pretty decent match a month ago. Now we add in Braun Strowman, who is, again, 5 moves of doom.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Just great. Let's see. Other than that was Raw. And so then I skipped over this, but because no one watches it. Well, some people do apparently. Big Cass, remember Big Cass from WWE fame? He's on Impact now.
Oh, nice.
He debuted for them at the pay-per-view on Sunday.
Did Enzo go with him too, or just Cass?
Just Cass, no Enzo. It would have been so much better if they were both there.
Yeah.
So apparently he's cleaned up his act, and he's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
And he's signed to a contract with them, and his name is W. Morrissey or Morrison, whatever.
Which that's like his real name or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. So good for him. Hopefully he does well.
Yeah.
Hopefully his life is cleaned up, because you never want to see that. And good luck to you, sir. I wish you the best of luck in Impact, and hopefully you don't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. We'll see you on AEW in like 2 weeks.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Kenny Omega won the Impact title on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing, because now he's a AAA champ. He's the Impact champ. Now he's the AEW champ.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Anybody want to care to like fill anybody in?
Yeah, like he's not that hot of a commodity where it's like it's gonna move the needle for any company, like putting in the belt on him, let alone all the fucking belts on him. So
no, if this was 4 years ago, Kenny, then yes.
Yes.
But this is now 2021 Kenny, and it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
We both agree how he's been used up until this point, up until December of 2020. He's been used like shit.
Yeah.
He came in with all this fanfare. If you remember back when he first signed, oh, where's he gonna go? Is he gonna go to WWE? Will he go to New Japan? Will he go to AEW? And then they sign him, and then he's a vice president, and then he hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you give a guy coming off of that big of a run the tag team titles?
Well, yeah, I don't know. And it's still, it's again, it's like another like character that they don't really know what to do with, you know.
Right, and I get that.
And they bring in Don Callis and all that, but it's like it doesn't really. Nobody cares, you know.
No,
Just
no one cares, and I get why they didn't give him the belt right off because they had to give an established guy the belt, and we all knew it was going to be Jericho, and I get that, but they signed Moxley so fast.
Yeah.
So it's like Moxley came in and like hot shot at Omega, if you think about it, for a little bit. And Moxley had it forever. Then he finally lost it to Omega. But Omega's steam at that point was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you would have made it so Jericho dropped it to Omega. But even then, Omega's steam at that point was still shitty because he came in and was booked like shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they've dropped the ball a little bit with that. But
yeah,
everything going forward, everything from December of 2020 to now with Omega is I haven't liked it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I like the Good Brothers, but how much more of the Good Brothers do we want to see? You know, now we have heel Bucks. I mean, and that's fucking crap. So,
yeah.
I mean, this whole, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was, so this past week was my girlfriend's first exposure to actually sitting down and watching wrestling. So we watched AEW together. She was surprised at how like well choreographed everything was. Like she thought it was, she thought it'd be like a lot different. As far because there were some like, I mean, the Young Bucks are the Young Bucks, but it's like, for somebody that isn't familiar with wrestling and they just see people come in and do a bunch of flips and things like that, it's like, wow, these guys are talented or whatever. But it's like, yeah, that's not really what we're interested in. But yeah, you can, but for somebody like new, that it was neat to see kind of that perspective. But
yeah,
I was just glad she tolerated it.
Yeah, just tell her not to be a Young Bucks fans and she'll be all
no, I talk shit about him pretty much whole match.
All right, so we'll talk about Wednesday right now. What the fuck? Hangman Page gets murdered by Brian Cage?
Yeah, gets his fucking ass kicked. Yeah. Well, maybe they're gonna do more with Cage now moving forward.
Well, fuck, they should have done more with Cage and even Archer since they both came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I saw that and I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
You have Page, like Page was basically unbeatable for the first half of the year, then he gets fucking murdered by Brian Cage.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's been hitting the bottle too much, and
well, considering his Series 5 figure comes with a pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, and then you had that parlay in the middle and the back and forth, and then Sean Spears went on to say that that everyone hates everybody, and okay, I know he's trying to get up steam for the match. Look, if there's real heat there, then it's probably real heat with Jake Hager and Wardlow, because they're both big dudes and they both want to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they have heat with Guevara, because Guevara didn't want to go to Impact, and you know what I mean? Like, who really fucking knows? Sean Spears, you suck anyway. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Like, so first his hair is blonde, now it's black, and they don't know what to do with him either.
No. Yeah, and it sounds like mostly he's just kind of like a coach. A lot of these younger people, but and then they find like little spots for him here and there, but I don't know.
I mean, he was a perfect 10 back in the day, and that was a pretty decent gimmick, but they haven't done a whole lot with him. I mean, he came in and blasted Cody with the chair, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
They had the match, they blew it off, and then he's been with kind of Tully Blanchard ever since.
Yeah. It's been like 5 years of him not really doing much.
Yeah.
With any company he's been.
Well, I mean, in the last 5 years, he did marry Peyton Royce.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a win. But
That's a fucking double win. I mean, that chick is hot, but that chick can't wrestle a fucking lick. So let's be real. I mean, she's way better than Billy Kay, but I mean, that's not saying much. So, I mean, hey, it's all about honesty here, folks. So, if you don't fucking like it, then don't fucking listen. And this is all opinion based too, because I mean, I don't wrestle, you don't wrestle. We would love to wrestle, but we're getting to be in our advanced ages now, where if we took a bump, we'd probably die. So
we would,
Like, you hiked your first mountain yesterday, and I don't think I've ever hiked a mountain. So I guess you're better than me. So
well, I did it at age 40. You're still 39. So
I'll be 39 in a month.
I'll be 30. Yeah, almost 39.
Almost close. Almost. So what else? AEW. Darby Allin fought 10 at the end.
Yeah.
It's they're main eventing with him, and that's great. New faces. Good for them. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky run out, and then Sting comes out, and then they beat up Sting, and then Lance Archer comes out and they run.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with that either.
Yeah. No.
I mean, unless they're going to do an Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky versus Darby and Sting at the pay-per-view at the end of the month, I don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm interested just to see really next week how they pull off Blood and Guts. I'm curious to see how the format.
Well, they're having actual matches because Dave Meltzer reported that there was only going to be a one-match show.
Yeah.
So that changed certain mindset of actually going to Jacksonville. So then when they announced they're having matches, I was kind of like, fuck. But I think there's going to be like 4 matches before, and then that's probably going to be the main event, I assume, because they're doing Mox and Eddie versus Omega and Nakazawa. Britt Baker's going to wrestle, I guess. There's a tag team match on there that doesn't include FTR, because they're going to be in the Blood and Guts. But if you're going to have a number one contender match for the tag titles, FTR needs to be in the match. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know why they're not, but it's just irritating because, as we've said on this show, they're the best tag team there. They should have the belts and just run over everybody.
Yeah.
But they don't do that because the Young Bucks are vice presidents.
Yeah.
However, in some big news, though, they announced on the May 12th show, Moxley's going to defend the IPG United States Championship against legend Yuji Nagata on Dynamite. The Forbidden Wall is down again between AEW and New Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then apparently Moxley's going to be wrestling on the New Japan Strong Show Friday night.
Oh, no shit.
It's going to be him and Chris Dickinson versus Nagata and somebody else.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Kind of a teaser before they meet on the 12th. So
yeah.
Kind of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Going on here. Now there's talks of Major League Wrestling. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, MLW. Yeah.
They're in talks to work with the WWE.
Really?
Yeah, because Court Bauer used to be on the creative team.
Yeah.
So rumor is they're going to try to talk with WWE, and they'll be like, they'll have guys that aren't being used in NXT, and they're going to have them work there.
No shit.
Kind of like a working relationship, because they see all these other companies doing it, so they figured, what the fuck, we'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, considering, the NXT stable gets kind of full at times, so
yeah,
that's kind of at least get that guy some ring work, other than training,
Yeah, and MLW's got a new TV deal. They're going to be on Vice TV before Dark Side of the Ring.
Nice.
Yeah. So not only they're on BN Sports, which probably nobody gets, but they're going to be on Vice TV, and then I think they're on DAZN, they're on YouTube. So Court Bauer is doing some stuff to make his product more out there. So
yeah,
But it'll just be like everything else. You know, he signs people to contracts, but then someone will poach them and take them all. So
Yeah.
just like someone said that they view it like when they had the agreement with ECW back in the day, where they'll pay some stuff and their guys will be on the show, or probably something along those lines.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Which is, I guess, which is good for business.
Yep.
As Vince says, it's good for business or whatever. Let's see. So Blood and Guts is obviously Wednesday. We talked about that. So it looks like the first two wrestlers will get 5 minutes, and then every 2 minutes, another member will come in, alternating between both teams. Once everyone is in the match, you can only win by making someone submit.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one big cage with 2 rings. So how's that going to work out with Daly's place because it's so small, you think?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be smaller than average rings. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this.
Unless they do 2 rings in the kind of like in the middle-ish and then just have fans on one side.
Yeah.
Maybe. And how they're going to do are they going to make the cage during fucking intermission or when a commercial break? Unless it's suspended above I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Because you can't really suspend it in Daly's place. It's an open fucking stadium.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a lot like the exploding barbed wire death match, where we're just like, how are they going to do this? And then they'll pull it off perfectly.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So something that might affect AEW going forward, we have the NBA playoffs starting up here shortly.
Yeah.
So there's rumors that they might have some shows on a Friday night or Saturday night because of playoffs, which will kind of blow.
Yeah.
And then also the NHL is signed with Turner Sports starting this coming season or next, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're going to have 72 games on between TNT and TBS, along with games on ESPN.
Yeah.
And they have rights to every Winter Classic game going forward.
Holy shit.
So that could, Tony Khan says it won't affect AEW at all, but we'll believe it when we see it.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's because I mean they're still keeping. They're obviously still keeping the basketball stuff too for next season, right?
I think so. Yes.
So yeah, I wonder if that's kind of the way they're going now. Is they're going to be more of a like sports-oriented channel now in primetime.
Well, you would think, right?
Every night they'll either be wrestling, basketball, or or hockey or whatever. So
hold on. Let me do something real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, they reached a 7-year deal.
No shit.
Turner Sports will broadcast half of each year's playoffs and 3 Stanley Cup finals, and plans to bring some games to the HBO Max streaming service.
Huh.
Yeah, Turner will pay up north of $225 million per year for NHL rights for 7 years.
Yeah. It's not bad. Considering what, what all the other leagues cost. That's
yeah. So ESPN and Turner will split the Stanley Cup playoffs, though ESPN will have more comprehensive regular season coverage. Turner will broadcast the annual outdoor Winter Classic game.
Wow.
Huh. It's going to be very interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the impact is for hockey in this country. Because for the majority of city, there's certain cities where hockey might be the number one sport or whatever, but for the most part, it's in the big four, it's probably number 4, in this country. So it'll be interesting to see if that, I don't know, if it makes it more popular with younger kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because you have, the NFL is obviously number 1.
Yeah.
Basketball is number 2.
Yeah.
And then baseball and hockey are 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Baseball is low because they can't produce mega stars.
Yeah.
Like the NFL and the NBA does.
Yeah.
If people didn't know who Bryce Harper was, or if they didn't know who Mike Trout was, they wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup if they saw him on the street.
Yeah. It's tough too because Anaheim's not a big sports market. So Trout's always like the best guy, but I mean, if there's not a marquee guy on one of the major East Coast teams, then then unfortunately they're, no matter how good they are, they're not gonna. Their marketing ability isn't gonna be there. So
well, you think about it. So you got Harper in Philly.
Yeah,
and they suck.
Yeah.
Judge in New York and Stanton, and the Yankees have played like shit.
Yeah.
Some people will like that. And then that's it. I mean, the Red Sox don't have shit for anybody any good now.
Yeah, they're like the best players on their team are all basically young guys who they're not named. Nobody knows Rafael Devers or Xander Bogaerts.
No,
if you're
someone might know JD Martinez, but he's getting older now.
Right.
I mean, they traded the face of their franchise 2 years ago. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to fucking pay him.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time Boston ever did that? You know what I mean? Before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they always paid people. Always.
Well, that's what my friend Mike was saying. He was like, because Mookie is his dude, and so he's like, fuck it, I'm going to the Dodgers with Mookie. But he was like, but he's like, since when do the Red Sox not have any fucking money? Since when are we that team?
All right.
But yeah,
he's right because they've been that team for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, way back when, before A-Rod got dealt to fucking the Yankees, there was an agreement for him to go to Boston.
Yeah.
And people fucking forget that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened if the commissioner nixed that or what, but yeah, he was going to Boston.
Yeah.
For like Manny Ramirez and a couple other people and money.
Yeah.
And people forget that. I mean, because they could have been. I mean, they won in 2004 without him, but imagine if he was there in 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, history could have either repeated itself or history could have been way fucking worse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it was I remember I was at my dad's house when that was kind of like the breaking news that it was like, oh yeah, A-Rod's going to the Red Sox for me.
Yeah.
Fuck, I said, geez. But so I mean, they've always paid people. But now it's like, they cried poverty last year, and they got rid of everybody, pretty much that was making any money.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Bogaerts, who they did an extension with, but they were like anybody that they saw they were going to have to pay down the road, they got rid of, like Betts and Benintendi, who his stats kind of dropped, but same thing. People that they were going to have to pay in a couple of years, they were just like, no.
Yeah, I was shocked when they traded him to Kansas City.
Yeah, and they didn't bring back Jackie Bradley Jr.
That one I can. Yeah, he was cold though.
Yeah, right. But his his glove was so fucking good. But
yeah.
So I don't know. But so I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Not super pumped about their ownership right now. But
well, why? Because you got LeBron now. You should be happy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that piece of shit later. So
yeah. So I don't know. So it just kind of sucks. I've watched some of the games this year, but not a lot. They look all right though. They're doing okay.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
better than expected. So
they're young. They're going to be good in a couple of years, and I'll say that. I mean, I'll admit that. I don't care. I mean, they'll be good in a couple of years, and they could be. They're going to be what Toronto's going to be, I think, in the next 1 to 2 years, because I think Toronto is going to be nasty.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, they have just too many young guys that are great. So
But the issue with Toronto is going to be is can they afford to pay everybody?
yeah,
That's going to be the $100,000
yeah,
question.
because they're all like around the same age, so it's like
Yeah.
they're all going to be, they're all going to be looking for extensions at like the same time. So
Right. And that's when we're going to see if Boston's going to pay people then.
yeah,
Because like if you have like, a Biggio or someone like that come up, do you give him all kinds of money?
yeah,
Do you give Guerrero all kinds of money? Like, because I
yeah,
mean, if they become free agents in the next couple of years, which I think they probably will, they're gonna get a lot of fucking money.
yeah, yeah,
And then there goes Toronto back down to poverty again.
yeah, yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years with everything.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I don't even know where Toronto is financially, where they're not even allowed to play in Toronto.
well, they're playing in are they in Florida?
Florida. So yeah, close to Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I had it, I'd rather play in Florida than Toronto right now.
Yeah, well, for sure, but
I mean, yeah, Toronto's a dome, but at least you're
yeah,
fucking out. At least you're out the fucking side. So,
yeah,
all right, our last topic about wrestling, and then we'll move on to everything else. Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, so Daniel Bryan is off SmackDown. Apparently,
yeah,
I know he wanted to, possibly become part time and take some time away, and he did name a couple of dream opponents he wanted to have matches with in different companies, and supposedly his deal's coming up. So he was talking about maybe working out a thing where he can, sign with the WWE but be allowed to go work everywhere else too.
yeah.
Like
But I'm sure they won't allow.
no, there's no way.
Yeah,
I mean, but just think of it though. If he signs and he's, yeah, I'm gonna go to New Japan and work with this guy, or I'm gonna go to AEW and work with this guy, and I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like what the precedent that would set? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think any exposure is good exposure, but I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, do you want to see Bryan versus Omega? Even though it's already been done once before, but do you want to see
Yeah.
it now?
I don't know about now, but
Yeah.
but no, I know what you mean. It's I don't know. I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
interesting. I didn't hear that, so that's interesting.
you want to see a Moxley? I mean, do you want to see a Maxwell versus Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, well, that
I mean,
yeah,
it's all these, Daniel Bryan versus Okada in New Japan,
yeah,
or Osprey or Zack Sabre Jr. Like, even ten, Naito, people like that. Like, it. Guess we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get off wrestling and now we'll talk about NFL draft, man.
Yeah.
But first, the big story before the draft. Well, there's two stories that came out. Aaron Rodgers wants out.
Yeah.
And he wants the GM fired, or he's not coming back.
Yeah, he's basically, that it's been kind of a roller coaster. Basically, he's like, I'm not coming back, and he's like, well, if you're not going to trade me, maybe I should retire. Like, he's even like dangling that carrot right now. So I can't see him retiring. Like, I just like, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't at this point. I don't know if he's coming. I can't really see that either. But I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was that they drafted another A. Rodgers during the draft.
I saw that. Yeah, the wide receiver from Clemson.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, he wants to go to the West Coast.
Yeah.
So, well, San Francisco's not going to trade for him.
Yeah. Yeah, they already asked.
They already asked. San Diego, I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers aren't going to trade for him.
No.
The Los Angeles Rams aren't going to trade for him. Maybe Denver and maybe the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe New England will trade Cam Newton. I'm just kidding.
Cam
No,
Newton and Gilmore for Aaron Rodgers, straight up.
yeah, but that's that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers obviously still like one of like the top, you know, handful of quarterbacks in the league. He was MVP last year. Like obviously he can still play, but he's also on the back end of his career, so you can't give up too much, especially if you're a team that's only a quarterback away. But yeah, I don't know. I just what their asking price, if they do, I think is going to be way too high, and the time to make a move like that probably would have been before the draft, to get more of those draft picks. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be ugly and it's going to be fucking a mess, no matter what happens. A lot of hurt feelings. So
Yeah, my feelings are hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't slept in 4 days because of this thing, so I'm so broken up about it.
Well, that's I saw like like some Packer fan like crying about how this is the end and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, well, hey, shit happens. Brady, Brady went to Tampa Bay. It's like that. Fall in love with teams, don't fall in love with players, because players will leave or retire. Players always leave at some point, one way or another. So, fall in love with teams, not players. But, yeah. So it's we'll see what happens, but I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, so when Favre retired and then wanted to come back, they just ignored him
Yeah.
and ignored him and ignored him. Then they finally traded him.
Yeah.
And they traded him to the Jets, right? They traded him to the Jets for basically nothing.
Yeah. And then he went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But it's like, like the GM or the coach came out and said, well, geez, I can't imagine a future in Green Bay without Rodgers. And it's like, yes, you fucking can, because you took Jordan Love in the first round last year. That's literally what you were doing, was imagining a future without Aaron Rodgers. So don't sit there and say, well, to try to, try to gain more leverage by saying, geez, with the fans and everything, said, geez, I can't, see a future without him being here, because bullshit. Like, you drafted Jordan Love you traded up to get Jordan Love in the first round last year. That's all you've been doing, is thinking about the future without Aaron Rodgers. So
yeah, but the issue with Jordan Love is he's not ready to play yet.
No, he's not.
He needs another year. So they have to suck Rodgers' dick, and they gotta do it. They gotta make him come back.
Yeah, right.
But I believe he has no more guaranteed money left. It's all been paid.
Yeah.
So like even if they release him or whatever, let's say they release him tomorrow, they have a dead cap hit of like $39 million.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the Eagles did when they traded Wentz. They have a dead cap hit of $30 million just to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I get you're unhappy. I get that, but like you have a contract. Shut up and play.
Yeah.
You had a comeback year last year. Let's be real. He didn't have a couple of good years before.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a year last year. He was healthy for the most part. Adams is really, really matured as a receiver. That tight end came out of nowhere. That Tanyan guy came out of nowhere. He had a two-headed monster with running backs, but now he's only got one because Aaron Jones resigned and Williams is in Detroit now. Yeah. So, I mean, but they really didn't give him a lot of weapons. I mean, yeah, they drafted that kid from Clemson, who I think is going to be okay, but you don't know. He's a rookie.
Yeah, right. Right.
So, I mean, they haven't helped him out the last couple of years in the draft either. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, when you trade up in the first round and take Jordan Love last year, who this year might not even have gone in the first round. What I mean? Like, with all the quarterbacks that came out this year, he might have been like number 6.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out in Green Bay, and we'll talk about it more and make fun of everybody more often, and we'll go from there. So the second headline of the day, which I saw late yesterday, that there's reports that Deshaun Watson might not even play next year.
Yeah.
And they drafted a quarterback in the second or third round with their first pick of the draft, a kid from Stanford.
Yeah.
It's ugly. You think it's ugly in Green Bay? It's gonna be even uglier in Houston.
Well, right, because that's what it's like. He's even if legally he gets out of it. If he gets a fine, something minor, because he's an athlete. The league is still going to suspend him for multiple games for putting himself in these situations. So, but where it's, the league, how they dole out the punishment isn't always even. So it's like so there's no way to guess how many games he'll be suspended, but, but yeah, I mean, there's a chance he's suspended for potentially the entire season, depending on where all this goes. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so I wasn't surprised that they took a quarterback with their first pick.
No.
The problem is with them, though, that they've traded away a lot of their picks. So,
yeah, think about it. They could have been picking, if Miami didn't trade, the third pick overall to San Francisco, that would have been Houston's pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston could have got somebody there.
Yeah.
They did those bonehead moves for Tunzel and the receiver there, and
yeah.
Bill O'Brien kind of left him in kind of a little bit of a hole when they fired him finally. So, yeah. I mean, because you can't trade your best player probably second best player at the time, maybe first, depending on who you talk to Arizona for a running back that has been injured, had a great rookie year, then was injured, and then made some money, and then you trade him for you trade D-Hop for him and a pick or whatever.
Yeah.
All because you can't get along with him.
Yeah, for the most part too, like running backs have become so devalued in this league anyway. Mm-hmm. So there's a few bell cows like still in the league, but for the most part it's whoever's got the hot hand that week or whatever, because most teams now play with a 2 or 3 headed like backfield. So so it's like when you trade a player like that for a running back and then I don't know if it was a second round or whatever the pick was, but it's like when where like Brandon Cooks is like, people are constantly giving up a first round pick for him. And so what, and you get a shit running back, or you're getting a running back period in the second round pick for, one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in the league. That's
it is whatever, just bad move overall. I mean, but I guess no one could have predicted what was going to happen. So
yeah, right. Well, yeah, there's that too.
So I mean, apparently if we didn't have a pandemic, I guess Watson should have just kept his dick in his pants, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
So, but when you have 22 different masseuses that you go to, usually guys have like one. You know what I mean? Like for their whole career, they have one.
Right.
And this guy's got 22 or 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Not good.
It's not a good look, dude. Not a good look. So the first round of the draft was Thursday, and then we had rounds 2 and 3 Friday, and we had rounds 4 through 7 yesterday.
Yeah.
Round 1, man. Boy, did they draw that shit out for like ever. Fuck.
Yeah.
The Kings of Leon fucking playing. What the fuck? Hart's playing. I love Hart was there. I was jamming out the Hart in the downstairs in the living room, singing along with Hart. That was great.
Yeah.
But man, Kings of Leon, for real?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, man, why are we still like, I hate how long it takes the first pick to happen. Because it's like, motherfucker, you've been on the clock for months, and you're gonna use the whole fucking 7 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, 10.
To figure that's why I was so happy when the Patriots, when they did their pick at 15. Because usually I was talking to I talked to my boss after the because he's a Cowboys fan. I talked to him after the Cowboys pick, and I said, you know, I said, how do you feel about that or whatever? I said, yeah, and he was pretty happy. I said, well, I'm getting pretty tired. He goes, you got to stay up for the Patriots pick. I said, I'll stay up and watch the Patriots trade back, and then I'll go to sleep. Because he's like, you think they'll do that? I'm like, I don't know. That's what they fucking do every year. So that's why I was happy to see them. Not only when they made their pick, they also didn't use the full time. They just fucking made their pick, and that was it. So saved me a few winks. But
so either Kyle Shanahan is the smartest person in the room, or he worked us all to death.
Yeah, I think he worked everyone to death.
I mean,
I think they knew they were going to take him for a while. They just they made it look like they were taking Mac Jones. So,
I mean, he worked people like you work in the wrestling business, like because everyone had Mac Jones going to them for months.
Yeah.
Since that trade happened about a month ago, they had Mac Jones going there. Like everybody had Mac Jones going there. Mel Kiper even had Mac Jones going there in his last mock, like hours before the draft.
Yeah, because like even he did that workout, and like San Francisco was like one of the teams that was like really into the Mac Jones workout. So, everything was pointing to that's who they were going with. But no, but that's okay.
So you had Lawrence and Wilson go 1-2. Trey Lance goes 3.
Yeah, and I don't know about I don't know too much about Wilson. I just think no matter who the Jets draft, they're always gonna fuck it up. So, and I'm okay with that because I fucking hate the Jets. So it's like whatever. But yeah. So I'm like, yeah, he's probably not gonna be the guy. But who knows?
Well, in their defense, they did draft an offensive lineman at 14. They traded up, and then they took a receiver in their first pick of the second round.
Yeah.
So they got a big motherfucker to protect him, and they got a speedy guy to throw to.
Yeah, he's got big motherfuckers on both sides of him now. So
they've done more for him than they ever did for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, for sure.
And Sam Darnold was a 3rd pick overall in 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kyle Pitts goes 4, which everyone kind of thought that. So if Atlanta's healthy, man, they don't trade Julio. Whew, they could be scary good on offense.
Yeah. Yep.
Defensively,
as long as their line holds up.
Yeah, defensively though, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
And then Jamar Chase goes 5, which I don't really agree with because I thought they should have got Sewell to protect Burrow. Because the last time I checked, Burrow was on his ass with a torn ACL.
Yeah.
And if you have no one to block in front of you, you can't get the ball out that fast. So that pick I didn't like.
Yeah.
I get why they picked him because they were college teammates. I get that. But you need people to protect your franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter how good of chemistry they have with each other if he only has 2 seconds to get rid of the football. It doesn't matter. So
then we have Waddle go 6 to the Dolphins, which I was kind of surprised about because I thought they would take Smith because that's who I thought they were going to take anyway. Yeah. But apparently they liked Waddle, even though coming off a broken ankle.
Yeah.
So then 7 Sewell, and you thought Detroit won like the Super Bowl when they made that pick, like for real. Like I never seen that whole room erupted for an offensive lineman, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, they say that, and I'm not too familiar with him. Just, he played at Oregon. I don't watch too many Oregon games, and he opted out, I think, last year too.
He did.
But a lot of the talk was that he's can't miss an offensive lineman, and he was one of the almost gold jacket locks. But I don't know if you could ever really guess that. But yeah. So I mean that's good for them. It's not an exciting pick, but
no,
fuck, you need a good line.
You do, but apparently golf's your future, I guess, right?
Yeah, short-term future. He's the future for probably next season and probably the one after. But
I mean, they could have taken, because they could have taken Fields there and they didn't.
Yep.
So
For
then
sure.
you have 8 was Carolina. They took the Horn kid from Virginia Tech or whatever he came from.
Yeah, South Carolina.
The corner.
Yeah.
Who, Fields was there too. So
Yeah.
I guess okay, so they just extended Darnold. So they picked up his 5th-year option for like $18 million. So I guess Darnold's the guy for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah. Yep.
Great, good for you.
Yep.
Sertan goes 9 to Denver. And we thought they could have taken Fields too, or even Jones.
For sure. Yeah.
Because they traded for Teddy Bridgewater the day before.
Yeah.
So they're going to go with Locke and Bridgewater unless they get Rodgers. So,
yeah, and that's what they were asked. Why didn't you take a quarterback? And they said, well, we like our quarterback situation right now with Bridgewater and Locke. But, that doesn't move the needle much for me anyway. But Sertan's a great corner. I thought he was the best corner in the draft, but so that's an all right pick for them, but it's kind of still doesn't really solve their major problems. So
no, but it makes their corners and their defense and their safeties like that much more stronger though.
Yeah.
Good luck throwing the ball in those 2 corners and then fucking kid in the middle. So whatever his name is. So then we get to 10. And Dallas is on the clock. And I'm on the phone with 2 of my buddies, Phil and Chris. And next thing you know, Philly's on the clock. And I immediately start freaking out.
Yeah.
John's texting me, Scott texted me, Mr. Lighthizer's texting me with his kids, and we're all freaking out. And I'm like, it's Fields. Like, they're taking Fields. Okay.
Why move up if you're not taking the quarter?
Right. Yeah. So they trade back from 6 to 12. They get the extra first round next year from Miami and a couple other picks, right? Then they trade up with the hated rival Cowboys and give up 12 in like a 3rd round pick. Great. They say Devonta Smith, and I went, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And my friend Chris, who's a huge Giants fan, immediately says, basically, I hate your guts, because all the mocks had basically the Eagles hopped the Giants to get Smith. So they fucked the Giants twice in a 6-month period, which is fantastic. Okay. And then the Giants fucking are like, fuck, what do we do now? So they trade back and they get a king's ransom from Chicago, and Chicago takes Justin Fields at 11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Yeah.
I seriously thought they were going to take Fields at 10 when the Eagles traded up. I literally thought that.
Yeah.
I thought Fields was there at 10 and they were like, oh, fuck, here's our chance.
Yeah.
But no, they went the opposite way. We need a receiver, a number 1 receiver. We needed him for a while.
Yeah.
We'll see if the kid's too small, though. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
I know he can run fast, but it's a different game when you get to the next level. So, because you have 30 guys that can run just as fast as you. So, if he gets jammed at the line, we could be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, for me, like, I still thought he was the best receiver in the draft. Like, personally, I thought he was great.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But that's unfortunately that's what happens though. Once you get into draft time, it's, all the measurables come into play, and too short, too skinny, but I always think great players always play great, regardless of if they're really good, then it doesn't matter. They find a way to be good. And so I think he'll be just fine. And I don't know what type of relationship he has with Hurts, but obviously they were teammates.
They played 1 season together. I think he caught like 12 passes from him for like a touchdown. So I mean, they're familiar with each other, but not. Not. But again, we'll see how it all goes. So and then Fields goes to 11, and when he got picked, he didn't really seem excited.
Yeah. I mean, and you can't blame him.
We're going to Chicago. Going to the Bears.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. They came out and said Dalton's their starting quarterback, which we both know they're full of shit. So let's be real. Like, you don't take a quarterback that early. He's gonna play. Like,
Dalton's the starting quarterback until week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Parsons went 12 to Dallas, which was cool.
Yeah.
Cool, great.
Yeah, good player. So.
And then 13 was an offensive lineman, I think, to San Diego. 14, the Jets traded up and got that offensive guy from USC. And then 15, New England takes Mac Jones, quarterback Alabama. He falls to 15.
Yeah. And then he fast walked to the podium.
Oh, he like ran to the podium.
The best, one of my favorite things was seeing like the side-by-side photo comparisons of him and Brady. Like physically, just not specimens, but they look like 2 before pictures, but I was pretty happy. I liked Mac Jones at Alabama. I thought he was a consistent quarterback, an accurate quarterback. Seems to be pretty smart. We'll see. I mean, he with the Patriots though. Even though he was taken so high, like they're not starting him week 1. Like just because that's just how they operate. He'll be. It'll be Cam's team to start the year, and then we'll see if Cam does the bullshit he did like last year and couldn't throw the ball, 7 yards past the line of scrimmage, or was throwing interceptions to defensive linemen, then they'll make some kind of change. Whether it's him or Stidham, I don't know, but it'll be interesting. But it also, a lot of things happen that, there was some talk that Garoppolo's going back to New England, and then they took Lance, who they've said, isn't, he's our future guy, but he's not the guy next year. He still needs some polish. So Jimmy's not going anywhere this year. And so I really think that's the case there. So, I think Mac will be the guy, but they're going to start with Cam anyway. See what he's got left in the tank.
Well, all right, I'll say this. So Mac's playing. Mac might be playing week 1 because let's face it, Newton sucks. They put Stidham in and he sucked.
Yeah.
Because they came out and said that, he was the guy last year, and then they signed Cam in like June.
Yeah.
So something happened between like April and June of last year for them to go sign Cam. Okay. Yeah. Nobody wanted Cam before New England called.
Yeah.
Cam can't throw the ball, like you said, past the line of scrimmage because when he fucked up his shoulder in 2017 or 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is the guy.
Yeah.
Going forward. So they can come out and say, yeah, Cam's our guy right now. Fuck Belichick, fuck off. Like, if your dog had an arm, your dog would be the fucking quarterback right now. Like, for real, like, come on. Like, look, and maybe Mac Jones is going to be great, maybe not. But you got to remember, Alabama, they had a line.
Yeah.
And they had fucking people on the outside that could get open.
Yeah.
I necessarily don't know if New England has the people that can get open on the outside.
Right.
And that's the $100,000 question.
Yeah.
Because you signed Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar for receivers.
Yeah.
That doesn't blow anybody away.
No. Well, but then they get Jonnu Smith and Hunter.
True, Henry. But they're not going to blow people off the line.
No. But it gives the safety blanket.
It does.
The tight ends are always the safety blanket. So, yeah, I mean, receiver-wise, they're still like, I mean, you lose Edelman, who, he didn't have much left anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. I bet he signs with Tampa. He'll sign with Tampa in like 3 months.
Yeah. But yeah, they didn't do enough to address the wide receiver issues. But we'll see.
Because they don't have a number one receiver on that team.
Right. No.
They haven't had a number one receiver since Randy Moss left.
Right.
And even though Edelman was, kind of their number one, but still, he wasn't like throw it up there to 6'5" Randy Moss and pick it off with one hand.
Right.
Like,
he was the screen pass number one.
He was a screen pass. He was the guy over the middle. Like, he was a slot guy along with Hogan and Amendola. Like, that receiving core at the time was pretty decent because you had Gronk in the middle. People forget that.
Yeah.
And James White, he's still there. He can catch the ball in the backfield, but still, like, you can only do that for so long.
Yeah.
And the whole Jimmy G thing, Jimmy G's going to sit the fucking bench after like week 7.
Yeah.
And make $25 million to fucking sit the bench.
Yep. And then he's gone.
My prediction was, I said this to Barbie, Jimmy G will get cut right before training camp's over.
Yeah.
And they'll probably have to pay him some, but not all. That was my prediction. Because when New England drafted Jones, I said Jimmy G is not getting traded.
Yeah.
Jimmy G will get released right before training camp.
Yeah.
And they'll announce Trey Lance as their starter, and then they'll go whoever the back, and then they'll just ride out with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I could see that happening too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Especially if they're not, especially if they're, bottom team or, bottom team in the division, because it's still like, defensively, they've always been good, but, their defensive coordinator is not there anymore. So,
and a bunch of guys are coming off injury too. So, like, Bosa's coming back and a couple other. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the best part about the off season. There's always more questions than answers. So.
And then Jacksonville takes Travis Etienne, their second pick of the first round, so they pair them up together.
Yeah.
Lauren. So, I mean, and then Pittsburgh took Najee Harris at 24, and then Etienne went 25, and Baltimore took that Bateman kid from Minnesota at 27. So, you had 27 offensive tackles get drafted in the draft, most since like 94 when it went into 7 rounds. Like, so there's a lot of beefy guys that got drafted.
Yeah.
In the last 3 days. So, it's all a crapshoot because you really don't know what's going to happen until they get on the field. So
yeah, right.
And if you're going to have off season
that were drafted in the 5th and 6th round, could be better than the ones drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
So it's,
Tampa Bay took Kyle Trask, a quarterback from Florida, at the end of the 2nd round. So, Indianapolis took the quarterback from Texas, the Sam Eckerd kid, in the 6th round. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Ian Book went to the Saints round 5 yesterday. Ian Book's a smaller version of Taysom Hill, more or less.
Yeah, right.
So, it's going to be interesting. People had good drafts, people didn't. It's just is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea what the Oakland Raiders are doing, taking that kid so early in the 1st round.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the ESPN set was like fucking. They were like, "Fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
And then the Eagles take that center at 37, and I was like, I sent a text over to Mr. Lighthizer and his 2 kids, and I went, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
And he's coming off
the top ranked center in the draft, though.
Yeah, he's coming off 3 years of injury.
He's 32 also, by the way.
He's coming off like 2 ACLs and a fucking broken ankle. He tore his ACL in the SEC championship game in 2000, just this past year.
Yeah.
He didn't play in the semifinals or national championship game.
Yeah.
And then they take that defensive lineman in the 3rd round, and like we said before, you got Howie Roseman running around high-fiving everybody, and everyone's just sitting there going, "Yeah, fuck off, Howie."
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in that room agreed with that pick but Howie.
Well, yeah, you can see the body language on everybody. It was so bad.
I mean, I guess the only saving grace about that guy is he could bench 500 pounds. So.
Yeah.
But
hey, it was a need, so we'll see. Like you said, this is all a crapshoot.
oh
We'll
yeah,
see. He could end up being like the stud of the draft, but
yeah,
probably not. But
probably
we'll
not.
see.
Probably not, but we'll see. But yeah,
But
no.
overall, how do you feel about the Eagles draft?
I don't feel great about it, but
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't really address the cornerback situation.
yeah,
We got a couple linebackers late, but they take that center. I know why they took that center because Kelsey's, I get it, but
yeah,
you could have got the linebacker from Notre Dame then, you could have got, you could have got Asante Samuel Jr. then, that corner.
yeah,
I don't know. I just thought there was more needs that early to, for that they needed other than the center. So
yeah,
that's my only questionable pick was that one. Everything else, I can see they got two linebackers late, defensive tackles, defensive ends because they that's where they built their team the last 5-6 years. So I'm okay with it. I'm not great with it, but
yeah.
how do you feel about New England?
I was happy because the Mac Jones, but not Mick Jones. They didn't draft the guitarist from the Clash, but the Mac Jones pick because I did like him. But but the way the Patriots draft is they typically they draft they do a lot of like the D line. They do a lot of like beef. So some years they take a lot of offensive linemen, sometimes it's a lot of defensive linemen. This year, it was more defense oriented. So I don't know. Overall, I give it a B. B plus. I was happy with the Mac Jones, but I thought for sure they were gonna fucking trade back, and
That's what a lot of people thought. Because what I did was I started watching or listening to like the Boston radio guys on oh god, I forget, Folger and Maz from 2 to 6.
Yeah.
I listened to Zolak and Bertrand like the day before the draft or the day of the draft, and they were all talking like, watch them trade back. That's what they do. And then they took Jones. They all seemed to be pretty happy about it the next day. So I think it's it's a home run for New England. I think at that point because they didn't have to trade up. They didn't have to give up anything. Jones fell to them at 15, and they didn't have a choice but to take it.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't take him, they'd be getting fucking crucified for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But who knows? He could be a fucking bust. Who really knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the first two quarterbacks picked in the 2016 draft, they both got fucking traded in this past offseason. So, and they both and the Eagles gave up a king's ransom to get Wentz, and they still fucking traded him.
Yeah.
So, but if you think about it though, if Wentz was still there and he had Wentz and Smith, man, that could have been what could have been, and Ertz is still there and he hasn't got traded yet. So, I mean, I guess we're going to, I don't know. It's whatever. So I guess we'll have to see. So did you see Friday night, the Celtics?
I didn't watch the game. No.
They were down 32.
Yeah, I saw Tatum had a big
60.
game. Yeah.
Tatum at 60. So a better on FanDuel when the Celtics were down 32, he bet $1,800 for them to come back and win. And he bet another line on the Wizards to cover, I think, right? So Boston came back and won. He pocketed over $36,000 in winnings.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, but think about this though. How many times do you think he's lost doing that shit?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it was like 36,900 something. Yeah, he won on that bet. He took it like right when they were down. He bet the line, and they came back and won by 3 in overtime.
Man, I was happy that I've won like $20 this week on DraftKings fantasy baseball.
Oh yeah, and another news too. There's our governor, our wonderful governor, Austin Powers, is revisiting the legalizing sports gambling in Maine bill.
Yeah.
So I said this to Barbie last year. If she would have legalized that last year in May, you know how much money the fucking Maine's economy would have had rolling in?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I made a statement. I can't remember who it was to. I don't know if it was to my wife or my dad, or maybe it was even you. December of 2020, New Jersey had sports, legalized, right?
Yeah.
They made $1 billion in sports betting just in the month of December of 2020.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, look at all the money that these casinos brought in when they first opened and everything. It's people love to gamble, especially up here. But yeah, to me, it's like it's a no brainer. Like it's just kind of like you're generating a lot more revenue. Like why wouldn't you do it? But
Because she's a stupid bitch. Because she's fucking dumb. Like.
Yeah.
Just think about it. From May last year to May this year, you know how much money they could have made in just sports betting in Maine? Like,
Yeah.
But instead, let's bring everybody up here. Like, we'll come to our state. We'll give you everything for free instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, let's not legalize sports betting so people can make some money. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to bet $20 or something and win like a grand or what I mean, something stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing that like there's still like, especially like the older generations, there's still like this stigma around sports gambling that it's like the seedy underground thing, and it's not. It's guys like us being like, here's $20, let's put, it's not like it's more people that do it for fun, now than it is like some addictive thing. I mean, there's still plenty of gambling, but still, the mentality of it's this seedy, like, terrible thing, and it's just not. It's more casual people that just want to fucking,
just think like
that's what makes up the bulk of it. Not all these people that are like, I'm gonna, wager my entire house on the fucking Jets to cover. It's like that's like not the reality of it.
Right.
But that's what they see it in their heads. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, just think about it. Like, we each throw $100 down. I throw $100 on the Eagles win the Super Bowl. You do it on the Patriots, and it's like 30-1 odds.
Yep.
And they win, and one of us wins. Like, that's 30. You know what I mean? Like, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of it. What it is too. Like, the instant gratification of like, okay, it's the 5th inning of the Yankees Red Sox game, and I'm gonna bet that Aaron Judge hits a home run. And I'm gonna throw $20 down, and the odds are like 10-1, and he fucking wins, and you're like, oh fuck, cool.
Yeah. And if you lose, you go, well, fuck, I'm out $20.
Right. Yeah.
Not the end of the world,
Right.
So I don't know. So I've been a obviously I've been a big proponent for that. Not only as a revenue driver, but just as someone who understands how it actually fucking works. And it's to me it's a no-brainer, but like I said, it's this stigma a lot of these older people have, that they don't understand how it all works online and everything. So
a lot of these older people too are stuck in the 80s too. Like,
for sure.
I mean, let's be real. Like, these people don't get it. They don't see the big picture, because like, they're the older generation. They know how it works. They're smarter than us.
Yeah.
And however, motherfuckers, I'm smart too. I might not look like I'm a smart guy, but I'm a pretty smart, intelligent guy.
Yeah.
If you bring this to the state of Maine, our economy will fucking recover and be fucking booming.
Yeah. And
it's not my fault that some fucking asshole spends $2,000 a week on fucking sport. That's his fucking deal, not mine.
Yeah, right.
That's not. You don't need to feel bad about that shit, because in reality, it's probably $2,000 that you and I are giving those fucking assholes that live here for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, you gotta do things to drive revenue. Like, one thing, people hated when it came in, because it was an additional tax, but how you pay sales tax now on your online sales. but that was because small businesses got tired of people walking into their store saying, you know what? Yeah, it's the same price online, but if I buy it online, I don't, even after shipping, I'm still going to save money. So I'm just going to go do that. So, so they implemented this. I think it was like a year or two after I got on the city council, because I went down with a group of like local elected officials, and we talked to our legislators down there, who at the time was Collins, King, Michoud, Pingree, and we had meetings with them where we were like, look, our small businesses are getting squeezed by this shit.
Mhm.
And we were down, they listen, it's become since a national thing, but it's pumped so much more money into our state's economy than it would have without it. It's a huge cash cow, especially this past year where everyone's been at home just ordering shit online. It's like they're still capturing that stuff. So it's like you gotta think differently and just think about how you can create more revenue for the state in order for us to fucking function. Because like I said, nobody liked it because it was a huge tax, but it built us up a surplus. So during the LePage year, and there were other factors that added to that, but that was a big factor to creating that surplus, was generating that online sales tax. So but people don't like money.
No, people don't. So, well, people are stupid.
Yeah.
So one last thing before we go, I didn't mention this earlier. I just thought of it now. So AEW didn't draw 1 million views this week.
Oh, they didn't.
No,
I didn't see what the numbers were.
It was 800,000, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, we had Biden give his fucking speech to Congress too.
That's right. Yeah, because I went to work the next day and people are like, "Did you watch Biden's speech?" And I was like, "No, I watch wrestling." It's like, no, wrestling's on. I have priorities.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw some highlights of it, but
I watched wrestling.
I did. I watched wrestling and lost $20 in poker because I was the first one eliminated, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So there you go. I lost $20. I'm not that worried about it. So, so please bring legalized sports betting to Maine, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. What do you want to do next week? Do you want to do a list next week? What do you want to do?
Sure, let's do a list.
All right. What are you thinking about? Oh, hold on. My Cornet figures came in. So.
Oh yeah, show those. You sent me the photo, so.
I sent you the photo. Yeah, those came in. I even kept the box that he sent them in too. So
nice. Yeah.
So those are.
I think when I ordered like a sign, I think 8x10 from him like a while ago, and I think I kept the envelope that it came at, because it had the return address on it. That was cool.
Cornet's collectibles. I'm like, oh, sweet. So those are cool. They got both variant. I got the Christmas variant and the other one, and they're signed, and totally made my day. So made a shitty.
Build a bigger fence with it.
Yeah,
with all those figure money.
Dude, did you listen to that? Wasn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
The balls that guy has.
Yeah. Just not give a shit. Yeah. But just him fucking yelling at that lady about the fence and her being like, "But don't you care if anyone's okay?" He's like, "That was the first fucking question I asked, if anyone was all right. What's the sign?" He's like, it's like, fuck's gonna fix my fence.
And the worst part is the car is like on top of the fence, and it's like pulling down his power pole. I was like, oh my god, that must have been
bullshit. That was so fun. I love when he goes on like rants, like non-political rants like that.
Yeah. Look, I like him. Like I can't deal with his.
Yeah, same.
Like and he'd be pissed about me, going against him, but I can't listen to that shit. So
yeah, I can't either. It's like saying we've talked about it before. I tune in to listen to wrestling, not your political opinion. So
yeah, look, everyone's got their own opinion about stuff, and I totally get that. But sometimes I'm just like, oh my fuck, like
right, exactly.
Look, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent per se. I just listen to logical people, and
Yeah.
on both sides, they're not logical people.
Yeah, right, right.
I view them, they're all fucking crooks. They're
Yeah.
all in it for themselves. They're not in it for you and me, or your mom, my parent. Like, they're in it for themselves. They don't fucking care about us.
Yeah.
They've never cared about the middle class since day one. All they care
Yeah.
about is the rich people and making the poor people not poor. So,
Yeah.
and fuck everybody else that works their ass off. And that's how I feel. And maybe my mind will change, but probably not. So I
Yeah.
don't see it changing or getting any better anytime soon. So,
One thing as I've gotten older, I've realized that I'm more focused on the shit that I can control and the things like that don't directly,
yeah.
Are in my space, my little space. I care less and less about over the years. So when people like uh, when when they're so in love with a political candidate where they got to get so angry defending them and all that, I'm like, the person you're defending, the person you're putting all this energy into, does not give a fuck about you. so, so it's like, why are you putting that much anger or anything in towards it? I was like, if you're getting too angry, then you're doing it wrong. It's like, you're not supposed to want to marry a political candidate. They're supposed to be public transportation. You take the one that goes closest to your house. You don't marry them. And so for that, it's like, so I've been kind of, so the last like 2 years I've tuned out like a lot of the political stuff, because I've been like, now, especially now that I'm more outside of it, I care less and less about it. And certainly I don't have like the anger level or anything. And I don't engage in people that want to argue. I'm like, I have my opinions, whether we agree or disagree. It's the same with, if, Red Sox fan, Yankee fan, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to shit on you for being a Yankee fan. And if you don't like the Red Sox, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. It's what affects me. So, but yeah, so it's been kind of, as I've matured, I've started to enjoy life a little bit more. So.
Well, I think a good analogy is like, I only worry about what happens in my house.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I can only control what happens here. I don't care what happens outside my house.
Yeah. Well, Ronald Reagan, and I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but Ronald Reagan has like one of my favorite quotes of all time. And it's like, the most important policies are made around the dinner table, and that's 100% true. I mean, that's absolutely how it should be. Control your own house. And then, if everyone did that, we'd all be in a better, we wouldn't have to lean on politicians so much. But I don't know. Yeah. I also love Reagan. So.
It's like, look, I could care less what happens out. I don't care what happens outside of here. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
so to hear people, when you tune into a podcast like that, and it's like, man, I just want to hear some good wrestling stories, and you hear somebody like that pissed off, it's like, yeah, I'm instantly like, I stopped listening to him, like, period, for like a long time, because I'm like, this isn't why I'm here. I don't care. This isn't what I want to hear about. Like, tell me tell me some great stories about, the Midnights or whatever. But
like his deep dives and like the Great American Bashes and all that stuff. I'll fast forward all the way I'll fast forward everything, and then boom. Like, look,
want to hear, man. It's like stick to that.
I can't imagine imagine him coming over to the house and like hanging out with us. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine going to his place and looking at his archive and just being like,
dude, I'd be like, I can't talk politics with you. I just want to come and look at your shit.
Yeah, I just want to look at your shit. I just want to look at your shit.
Speaking of looking at shit, Mick Foley's coming to the Bangor Toy and Comic Con in October.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because he was supposed to come the last time before. I'll for sure go to that.
It's like, it's $40 for an autograph for him, and it's like $10 to get into the show. So I think it's the beginning of October.
Photos too, or just signing?
Photo op. You can get a combination for like $60 a photo and something signed. So
nice.
I might get my Mankind figure signed.
Yeah.
Either the retro one or the elite one. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking about
I'll
it.
have to see what I have, or I might have to. I already have some stuff signed by him.
Yeah.
But I've never met him, so
Yeah. So
we'll see. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Tonight is Randy Savage on A&E at 8. Most Hidden Treasures is on afterwards, and I don't know who it is tonight.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
Maybe it's Lawler, maybe.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
So, and then we have Blood and Guts on Wednesday. We have Brian Pillman, Dark Side of the Ring on Thursday.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a fun week for everybody. So
yeah,
that's it. So we're gonna go. We're gonna get out of here. We've been talking for over an hour and a half, and it's been fun. So
yeah,
this is and Steph Curry went crazy again last night. So
yeah.
he dropped 23. He dropped 23 in the third quarter against Houston. Outscored him himself 23-12. They went on a 24-0 run.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
yeah.
He won't win MVP because his team sucks.
Yeah. But he should.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the weekly wrap, and we are going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic day.
Thanks.